Main Street for an hour with Ed, and of course the Shaka Smart Radio Show that starts at 6. We're raring to go. I'm going to let you do the honors introduce our first special guest tonight, Ed.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it, Greg.
Well, our first guest today is our head women's basketball coach in our second year wearing black and gold, Coach Marlene Stollings. Marlene, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Coach. What a difference a year makes, huh? I mean, we come up with a word to describe how we play. We actually play that way when we win games.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing. That's all we had to do, huh? Well, I mean, as you look back, from the end of last season when you and I talked to say, it's going to get better. And we knew it would. And you look at where we are now. Certainly, we have a long way to go. No question about it. But how do you measure the progress at this point?
Well, we're certainly excited about the progress that we've made. As you said, we have a long way to go without question, but we couldn't have really predicted that we would be sitting in this position in January if you had asked us early in the fall. We didn't know how quickly a lot of our newcomers would come along and adapt to this level, and we weren't quite sure how our returners would come back, both of which have panned out very well, and here we are sitting 16 wins.
Well, what has been the biggest change in your mind that has led to this? I mean, it's a record-breaking start, record number of wins to start the season. We've already eclipsed the number we had all of last year. I mean, we've had some really quality conference wins as well. But what do you attribute to that start?
Well, I certainly would give credit to our young ladies and their talent. It makes us all look good. But the newcomers are certainly quite talented, and our returners came back and stepped it up a notch. So I think a culmination of the two have really ignited a lot of our success here early in the season, and we're certainly not done yet.
Well, it doesn't hurt when Robin Parks scores 30 points a game, right?
That always helps.
That always helps. I mean, you and I have talked a lot about the transformation that Robin has had since you've been here, and even the transformation from last year to this year. But, what has led to that, other than Coach Dawkins being all over her every day?
Well, I think one of the biggest things with Robin is the fact that she started believing that she could be decent and could be very good. We inherited a young lady that was averaging 6 points a game and hadn't really played a ton of minutes. And she's sitting now in second consecutive year of leading the A-10 in scoring to this point. So certainly credit to her changing a lot of her behaviors and work habits, and Coach Nick is her position coach and has really spent a lot of time with her one-on-one and just getting her to accept the mental part of the game as much as the physical part.
Well, and there's, I have not seen the whole league yet because we haven't gone through the schedule, but there's no doubt in my mind she's one of the top 20 players in the country. How much has her transformation rubbed off on the younger players? We have a lot of new players, 8 and 9 in faces, whatever. So how much has that rubbed off on the fact that she's one of the 20 best players in the country, but she bought in?
Well, I think it's tremendous. I think that they follow her in a lot of ways. They look up to her, and they go as she goes a lot of nights. She makes something important, they make it important. So I think just her natural leadership and the fact that it's becoming more and more urgent to her.
Yep.
I think there is a carryover to our youngsters in understanding the seriousness of it and the time of year and the point of the season that we're in, and that we can't take any of these games lightly or for granted, and that you have to bring it every night. But I think that she's been very instrumental in helping them come along that way.
We're on with VCU women's basketball head coach Marlene Stollings, and Marlene, with such a young team, and we tend to forget because they achieve at such a high level on the floor. We tend to forget we got a lot of 18-year-olds in the group, right? How much do you teach every day? Because it is a daily, not only just in practice, obviously, in life stuff, but how much do you have to teach every day versus a more experienced team?
Well, I think it's a constant in what we do. We're always teaching, whether we're on the floor or whether we're at an airport with these kids. We value that very highly. Our entire staff does. We take great pride in it, and that's mostly what we love about our jobs, is the opportunity to teach and bring these young women along and help nurture them and bring them and turn them into young women and prepare them for the real world. So there's an element of that in everything that we do, and again, we take great pride in that as a staff.
How important is the practice part, not only getting them prepared to do all those things, but to play at the pace at which we play? Because it's a lot faster than it used to be last year and a lot faster than what some of them used to in high school. How important is that practice piece for it?
Well, that's been tough for a lot of them because it is a pace that is brand new. And it was for our returners. It took them a little over a year to get used to it. So that part is not easy, but the rewarding part is when they have games and they're cruising in the second half and they're in great condition and things of that nature. And they win games. We've had some big wins, Old Dominion, Duquesne, St. Joe's. I think that's a reward to them for their hard work and effort. But they're at a point where they're just understanding what it takes to play in this league for 40 minutes a night. We're certainly seeing that up close and personal as we did last night.
Well, you mentioned the ODU win. I thought Kira was phenomenal in that win and really helped us get over the hump at a time where she looked a little tired too. And at one point, Parks went over and grabbed her and said, I'll paraphrase, but like, pick it up, let's go, this is our game. How important in getting our offense to where it needs to be, how important has she been?
Oh, well, she's been the point person heading it up. I thought, she did some things last night that were just phenomenal for someone of her age. She went 1-on-5 at times and drew fouls and scored at the basket. I mean, just playing mature beyond her years. But I think she's really coming into her own that way. Again, she's still learning what it takes each night, how hard you have to play every minute and every possession. It's going to take her a little bit longer to get there and grasp that completely, but she's certainly well on her way and is just playing, in my opinion, better and better each game.
She is. We're talking about freshman point guard Kira Robinson. The other freshman has made a huge impact is Isis Thorpe. How critical has she been to our offense in terms of that other weapon? Because we certainly didn't have that other weapon before.
Oh, absolutely. She's given us a third scoring threat. Defenses have to pay attention to her. I think Robin Parks has really benefited from the fact that we've added scorers to the roster. It's really opened things up. They try to double team her, and we have 3-point threats, and Isis is versatile. She can take you off the dribble. She can pull up. She's very good at the jab series. So she can score in a variety of ways. And biggest thing for her right now is, again, adjusting to how hard you have to work each possession and understanding the pace. She's still working on that part. But her best basketball is certainly ahead of her, and I think she could be a phenomenal scorer in this league as she gets older.
Well, and we have to look forward to the conference tournament is here in Richmond at the Coliseum in March. What are the things that you're going to be stressing with the team to get us ready? And it's a huge advantage to play here, play here in front of your home crowd. Our crowds have gotten better all the time, but what are the things that you're going to be stressing to our young team as we go through the next month and a half?
Well, positioning and jockeying for that first round bye is huge for us right now.
Yeah, no question.
And we think when it gets to that third and fourth spot, first 4 teams get a bye. That's going to be huge. And I think there's 4 teams that are going to really jockey down the stretch here for those final 2 positions, with us probably being one of them. So that's real key. When you go into a tournament where you have to play 4 consecutive days versus 3 consecutive days, it really gives you an advantage to have that first round bye. So we will focus a lot on that and trying to grab that one of those positions. It's wide open field at this point and who can grab those, but it's tough and it's going to be very tight, and the margin for error is quite thin in our conference, and you've got to bring it against the teams that are ahead of you to have a chance to get in one of those spots.
Well, Marlene Stollings, we can't thank you enough for being here. It's been a lot of fun to see the progress this group has made over the last year and a half that you and I have both been here. Long way to go, but a lot of fun. Before we let you go, our women's slogan is Fury. All right. Our men's is Havoc. Do you have a word that describes the office environment from my end of the building?
From your end of the building?
From my end of the building.
Oh, like senior staff, the slogan?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. I think we could use one. I mean, I don't know if it's suitable for radio. I mean, but if you could come up with one, that would be great.
Oh, driven comes to mind right off the bat.
I appreciate
High
that.
energy. I mean, they get it done down there.
It's a lot of fun. Well, Marlene, thanks for being on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Great stuff. Let's take a time out. When we come back, our good buddy Parney Parnell will join us, and then we'll talk a little college basketball with Matt Norlander, CBSSports.com. It's all ahead, live from Home Team Grill on the Fan on ESPN 950.